everybody. We are back again to talk a little college football, some NCAA college football. Again, we will recap the previous week, which, man, the previous week was week 6.
We're getting closer to the heat of
We
the
are-
year.
So we're right about halfway through almost.
We're at the halfway point.
Man, we're at the halfway point of college football already. It's going way too fast, man. But anyways, we talk about the top 15 teams.
For some teams, they can't wait for it to end, and some teams want it to continue.
Yes, our team, just a little Tennessee plug, look a little better. Of course, we guess you get to talk about Tennessee this week because they're playing a top 15 team. So, hey, we get to talk about that. That's cool. But what we're going to do, we will talk about the winners and the losers from week 6. From week 6.
And look on to week 7.
And then we'll talk about our dumpster fire of the week also. If you haven't seen our dumpster fire of the week, we have a dumpster fire of the week segment coming up too. And then we will talk about who we think will be the winners and the losers of week 7. But let's go ahead and jump into week 6. We will again. We're going to talk about the top 15 teams, and number 15 played on Thursday.
The Fancy Chickens.
The Fancy Chickens.
The Coastal Carolina
The
Chanticleers.
Chanticleers. And dude, they're a pretty good team still yet.
They beat the snot out of Arkansas State.
Butch. Poor Butch Jones. Lost 52
to 20.
To 20. That really makes me sad. No, it's funny. But anyways, yeah, Coastal Carolina, we picked them to win by a landslide, and they won by 32. So that was actually a pretty good pick there. Cincinnati at Temple.
Cincinnati just beat the crap out of Temple.
Another 52 points. Man, 52 to
3.
Nothing like a little 49-point win.
Cincinnati slaughtered them.
They slaughtered them.
Like a good team should.
Like a good team should, yeah. And then we'll jump on. That was a Friday game. So we had a Thursday ranked game last week. We had a Friday ranked game. And then, of course, we'll jump into Saturday's games. We always got a bunch of
There's
good
a lot
Saturday's
to talk
games.
about Saturday.
The Red River rivalry, which is hard for me to say, was
Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah, Oklahoma won 55
to 48.
To 48.
In a shootout.
And that's after Texas was up 38 to 20.
Yep.
At one point, I saw that.
Spencer Rattler got benched.
Oh, they benched the Heisman candidate quarterback for Oklahoma.
And they brought in their freshman backup,
Brought in Caleb Williams, and they went on like a 40-point run.
Yep.
Which is
pretty insane.
It's great for Oklahoma.
It keeps their playoff.
Bad for
Texas.
But Texas and Spencer Rattler.
And Spencer Rattler.
He's probably not on the Heisman watch list anymore.
Probably not.
He may not be on the start list this week.
Ouch.
Ouch.
He might be transferring. I might call it. He might transfer out of Oklahoma after this.
Yeah, because the way that kid came in and played.
He played
off
good.
the bench. He played better than anybody has so far this year for him.
May I mention that Texas blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter?
21-point lead in the fourth quarter?
Horns down.
Horns
down.
Oh, man. I actually thought Texas might actually win this one because Oklahoma was looking bad. And honestly, Texas would have kicked the crap out of them if they would have kept Rattler in there.
Yeah, but with Caleb, they just had another answer.
And they were a better football team with that freshman in than they were with their veteran. It's sad to say for him, but
they looked like a better team with Caleb.
They looked like a better team with him, yeah. We'll jump on down. We had Maryland at Ohio State. Oh, sorry, I keep leaving. People won't know who I'm talking about. The Ohio State.
University.
You understand what I'm saying there. They won 66-17 over Maryland.
Ohio State did what they needed to do,
yeah.
Which was beat the crap out of Maryland.
Yeah, and they beat the crap out of them, yeah.
And
we had some blowouts this week, didn't we?
Yeah, their quarterback, C.J. Stroud, has had a very good year.
Mm-hmm. He has had a very good year, except for the Oregon game. The Oregon game was a little hiccup there in the road, but it was in Ohio State, so it was a big bump. If I would have been on the road, not so bad. At home,
it's a bit of a bigger bump.
It's a bigger. That's why they're still down at number 7 in these rankings here. We had number 11, Michigan State play Rutgers. Man, Michigan State sort of crept up on us here, ain't they?
They have slipped up behind everybody and made a surprising team of the year, probably.
Yeah, I mean, what's the head coach? He's in what year now?
Mel Tucker's second year.
Only his second year, and he's got him up into the top 11 in this ranking, creeped into the top 10. So
they're relying on transfers, and their running back is running hog wild, and he's a Heisman favorite.
He is a Heisman favorite there too. So look out for Michigan State. They sort of came out of nowhere. I wasn't looking for them.
All the other Big Ten teams competition there.
Because they
look pretty good right now.
They look pretty good right now.
Sparty.
We had number 13 Arkansas take on number 17 Ole Miss. My goodness, that was a shootout, wasn't it? So touchdown. It was crazy. Ole Miss pulled it out 52
at the 51 at the
to
very
51
very
at
last
the
second.
very end. Speaking of Heisman candidate,
Matt Corral adds to his Heisman candidacy
Ole Miss's quarterback might be a favorite now
for the Heisman.
And the reason is Ole Miss defense
is not good.
Bad.
Not good.
They're bad. So he is on the field a lot, throwing the ball a lot.
If Ole Miss wants to contend for a title in the next year, maybe
they're going to have to build up their defense a little bit.
Their offense is fine.
Yeah, their offense is fine. Now Corral probably won't stay past this year. He'll be in.
They'll have to find
he'll be in
somebody
the
else.
NFL next year. But they're going to have to do a little something about these defense.
But Arkansas put up a good fight.
They did.
I'll credit to both.
Again,
teams.
I thought Arkansas might even win that one, but
if they got the 2-point conversion, they would have won. But
that was balls. That was to go for 2 at the end of the game.
Guts.
That was gutsy. But you are in Ole Miss. You can't stop them from scoring. That's pretty obvious.
I mean,
and you had one play, and you could have ended it.
Yeah,
I mean that was a gutsy call.
That was Sam Pittman right there. He doesn't hesitate to go for that.
I was not against the call.
No. But Lane Kiffin's a very good offensive play caller. That's been well choreographed in the past, and that's what happened there.
Yeah, it was just a no defense. It was an exciting game though. We had number 2 Georgia taking on number 18 Auburn, and we told you that was the lock of the week.
And Georgia's defense beat down
34 to 10. Yeah, I think the line on that one was what it was.
Could have wished that Georgia might have scored a little bit more though.
Yeah, Georgia's offense is not fantastic, but guess what? They don't need to be
because their defense is fantastic.
Because their defense is the best in the country right now. There's no better defense than what Georgia has right now. I tell you, this is the old school Alabama defense. This is just
they're good on special teams.
We're going to score 25 to 30 on you, and you're going to score 10.
That's pretty much the old philosophy that Georgia has tried to put in,
and it's working. Georgia looks really, really well. Georgia number 1,
and pretty much deservedly. They looked like the number 1 team because of the defense.
Yeah, but we'll talk about why they're number 1 here in just a second. First of all, we had a top 10 team going down Boise State.
The Smurfs.
At to BYU.
The Smurfs, the Smurf Broncos.
The Broncos have played spoilers quite a few times in the past. And
they spoiled BYU.
Spoiled BYU's top 10 career. Yeah, that was it was over this weekend. Beat them down with a little 26 to 17. It wasn't even a last second thing or anything. They just beat them.
Yep.
Straight up beat them. We had inside the top 10, Penn State, Iowa.
This was a very somewhat controversial because
Penn
Sean
State
Clifford was lost to an injury.
Penn State was the better team. It was obvious Penn State was the better team until
Sean Clifford got injured.
Their quarterback got injured. Their backup
was not good.
Phew, man, he was horrible.
Gosh.
He was not a good backup quarterback, no.
He was not very good replacing Clifford, and
he looked like a deer in the headlights. He was just stunned and shocked to be on the field.
Iowa took advantage with a go-ahead touchdown pass with a cover 0 blown coverage, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah. He says cover 0 because there were 0 people covering him. It was wide open. I think Penn State was the better team. They just
Iowa got the win.
Iowa got the win, so Iowa goes up. Penn State goes down.
Yep.
Again, I don't think I don't hate the Iowa. I really don't have a whole lot of feelings for or against the Iowa. They're sort of neutral in my eyes, but I do not think they're going to make it the rest of the season inside the top 5.
They have a very good defense, but I don't think they have the offense to compete.
No. Another Big Ten team, Michigan, taking on Nebraska. I thought Nebraska was going to get this one for a minute.
Michigan won
32-29. Yeah.
They had the football late in the fourth quarter with less than 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Their quarterback runs, he coughs up the football, gives Michigan prime field goal range opportunity, and they hit it.
It's over.
Man, that's Scott Frost. Oh
yeah, he is having fun up there, isn't he? Whew. But anyway, from what I understand, the Nebraska people still love him. They want
to keep him.
They want to see if he can, snap, turn around.
I hope he can, because that situation really they need to learn how to finish close games.
Yeah, they do. Speaking of finishing close games, Notre Dame at Va-Tech. We knew that would be a tough place to play.
And
Blacksburg is a tough place to play. Notre Dame sort of got it together at the end, won 32-29.
Virginia Tech blew a late lead in the fourth quarter that they should not have blown.
No. But hey, Notre Dame won, and that was a tough environment.
Yeah.
We were even saying, hey, that might even be an upset, but
the Irish pulled it out.
The Irish pulled it out. They did. We had number 1 Alabama, used to be number 1 Alabama, at the worst team in the SEC West.
I don't know if we can say that now.
No, LSU's the worst team out there now, but Texas A&M beat Alabama
on a game-winning field goal. It was truly something to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, I bet Alabama wish they had that Georgia defense on this game, giving up. What did they give up? 41 points.
Ouch! That's not
Alabama's defense gave up 41 points to a bad Texas A&M team.
Could this be the beginning of the end?
I don't know. That was definitely a vulnerability right there.
Vulnerability is right there for them.
Now, Saban, he might go, see, I told you, boys, we're going to have to practice harder, learn harder, play harder. And they might go, yes, sir, and then they might win the national championship now. But the road's still right in front of Alabama. They can still do everything they want to do. They can still win the West because A&M's got too many losses.
Arkansas is a good team. Ole Miss is a good team, but they're both not ready.
They're both not ready. Alabama's already beat them. The only team that's beat them is Texas A&M. Texas A&M's too far back, so Alabama's still going to win the West. And with them winning the West, they still get to play for the SEC championship. If they win the SEC championship, they'll be in the playoffs. If they win the playoff, they'll win the national championship. So they still got all that ahead of them that they can do. But
what a gutsy performance from the Aggies, first and foremost, though.
Do you think it might have saved somebody's job?
Yes, it might have. It might have saved Jimbo's job.
Jimbo wasn't looking too good this year, was he?
So how about congrats to the Aggies?
Congrats to the Aggies.
What a historic win for the
first
time an assistant of Nick Saban has beaten him.
Exactly. The first Saban assistant that has ever won.
And the first time in 100 games that they have lost to an unranked opponent.
Exactly. So it was a monumental game all the way around. Yeah.
And it was probably one of the biggest upsets in the past few years.
It was definitely Texas A&M's the biggest game since they've come to the SEC. It was huge. But again, they're not going to win a national title with it, but they beat
Alabama. That's going to save Jimbo's job.
I guarantee you that probably got him a 3-year extension there. Seen that happen before. Well, that is the top 15 for the week. We hope you enjoyed the top 15.
Now we go with our dumpster fire of the week.
We're going to get in. We have a new segment. If you haven't seen it, we have our dumpster fire of the week. Check it out.
Dumpster fire of the week.
Yeah.
Hello.
Aha, our dumpster fire of the week. Who could be our dumpster fire of the week this time? They've actually been mentioned once before in this segment, but who is it?
Arizona.
Why is Arizona our dumpster fire? They might be the dumpster fire of the year or the past. Why is Arizona our dumpster fire of the week?
Count them, kids. How many losses in a row? You can join in with me too.
You'll probably have to have me.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
22 losses in a row. My goodness. 22. I mean, you can't even trip up and win one. You can't slip up on East Dakota North State or something and win a game.
Nope. We're
22 straight losses.
That makes Vanderbilt look like.
That's 2 seasons worth of, but it's actually going into the 3rd season because last year was a shortened season. So we're actually going into the 3rd season of not winning a game.
How did it get so bad in Arizona?
I don't know. Arizona used to be pretty good. They're a good baseball team, got a decent basketball team too. What happened to the football team?
The football team has just eroded into nothing.
22 straight
They just
losses.
fizzled away into absolute nothingness. It's like they just broke down.
I don't know, but they might need a
They are really, really bad.
22 straight losses.
I can't even count all the losses on my fingers and toes.
No, you have to.
You have to have Dad to help me count all the losses.
Yeah. So Arizona,
you really need to fix
you really
your
need
situation.
to fix this stuff. This is Marty. This is Marty the dumpster
Marty
fire.
resides in Arizona.
Marty is in Arizona this week. It's a little hot out there and smoky. Because the place is on fire. Hey, that was our dumpster fire of the week. We have a lot of fun with that. We hope you enjoyed it. Now let's go ahead and jump into week 7. We will do our predictions for winners and losers of week 7. We don't have any Thursday ranked games this week, but we do have a Friday one. We have a Friday ranked game. It is at 10:30 at night, though. California at
Oregon.
Oregon
coming off a tough loss to Stanford. How do you think they'll rebound?
I think they should rebound pretty well. They have got to want to make a statement to get back into playoff talk because if they win the Pac-12, then they could still maybe be in the toss. But they're going to have to hammer some people and impress the judges. This way out. The line is 13.5.
They should cover that line.
Yeah, take the minus 13.5. All right, we'll jump on into the Thursday games. We will go ahead and talk about. Well, let's jump into the noon games first. We got UCF, the Central Florida Bulls taking on
Central Florida Knights.
Oh, the Central Florida. Well, I'm thinking about the
South Florida.
The South Florida Bulls. The
Central Florida.
Central Florida, they're hard. They're not that good.
Well, they got the Gus bus over there, if that means anything.
Malzahn. Cincinnati is looking almost for real.
So, do you want to pick Cincinnati to beat the crap out of UCF?
Well, that's 21.5. Do you think they'll pull 21.5?
Maybe.
They've actually looked pretty good the last few weeks.
Cincinnati has a very winnable schedule.
They've beat Temple by 49. They beat Notre Dame by 11 in Notre Dame. They beat Indiana in Indiana by 14. They beat Murray State by 35. They beat Miami of Ohio by 35. So 21. I'm thinking they might cover 21 on Central Florida. That's a lot of points, but Cincinnati, I think
pretty sharp.
They're going to try to score 50 on everybody because they're not a Power 5 team.
They're going to try to achieve
They're going to try to sneak in
to the
playoffs. If Cincinnati sneaks into the playoffs,
that's going to be more expansion. Probably is going to happen.
They're going to have to expand because you're going to leave out Ohio State for Cincinnati?
Or you leave out Oregon.
Or you leave out Oregon
Penn
for
State.
You leave out Penn
Iowa.
For Cincinnati? We're going to have to get 8 teams in that playoff. We can't have that to happen.
I approve of that decision.
Yeah, put 8 teams there. It should have been done a long time ago. We got Michigan State at Indiana. Indiana is a tough team. Michigan State's only favored by 4.5. I'm still taking Michigan State, minus 4.5.
When you realize all of Indiana's losses are to these 3 teams. Iowa.
Good team.
Cincinnati.
Really good team.
And I'm trying to think of the other one. Penn State.
Penn State, good team. Man, Indiana's had a tough schedule, ain't it?
Indiana's lost to 3 top 10 opponents. They've lost to, each of their 3 losses were to top 10 opponents.
And Michigan State now is number 10. So here's their 4th loss against another top 10 team. We got Oklahoma State has crept up into the top 15 at number 12.
Oh, my Gundy.
And they're going to Texas. Texas coming off of a loss. I'm going to have to take Texas.
Take the Horns?
Texas should not have lost that game. No,
should not have. They should not have lost it.
The line's actually minus 4. Texas. I'm
going to take Sark.
I'm going to take Sark on that one. They're heartbreaking. They're heartbroken this week, but they've still got
offense.
Some offense. So I will take Texas -4 on that one. We got number 11, Kentucky.
One of the biggest stories of the year.
Number 11, Kentucky.
Kentucky is...
Is this basketball?
No, it's football.
Oh, football. So Kentucky's good at football this year.
This is one of my favorite stories of the year. 6-0 for the first time since 1950 for Kentucky football.
Exactly, and they've actually got a really good offense. Their quarterback's a good quarterback.
But they've got one obstacle, and it's a pretty vicious obstacle.
They're playing at Georgia this week.
Against that defense. That has shut out opponents.
Yes, and I think it's...
another shutout.
It may be another... I think Kentucky's good enough to score, but I don't think it's more than 10. And
if they do win by more than 20, then it'll be just prove
I think they're going to be up into 35 to 40 range, and Kentucky's going to be around the 10 to 13 range.
That should be
the line's actually 21.5. Believe it or not,
even if Kentucky to the Kentucky football team, even if you lose this game, you lost.
Kentucky's still got a fantastic. Georgia's beating everybody by 25. You can't take that. No, you can't take that for granted.
So you got an easily winnable schedule down the stretch. You can easily get 10 wins.
Yes,
which is an anomaly for them.
And make it to a New Year's Day bowl game. I mean, Kentucky's actually having a fantastic year. Georgia's defense is
just vicious.
It's just vicious. It is, yeah. So yeah, I would even take Georgia minus the 21.5. I would. We got number 2 Iowa now. That's right.
Iowa Hawkeyes
is number 2.
The highest they've been since 2015.
They are playing Purdue. Purdue's not a bad team. They're 3-2.
But I don't think they can get past
They're
Iowa.
Not going to be. Iowa. No,
with that ravaging fan base, they always yell and scream and support their Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Iowa is definitely the better team there.
I've always appreciated what Kirk Ferentz, their head coach, has done for Iowa. Mm-hmm. He's been one of the low-key consistent coaches in college football over the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I will do, it is 11.5 points, though.
I might not take that.
That might be a little big.
That may be a little big too much.
I think it's more like an 8-point game.
Yeah, let's do
7
Purdue
to 8.
plus 11.
So I think I was going to win straight up. That's fine, but I think it's Purdue plus 11.5 there. Because Iowa's played almost all their games pretty close, and Purdue's not a bad team. So
usually, if you play close, you're going to get bit.
Eventually, somebody's going to smack you. Now let's talk about number 5.
Alabama.
Alabama's number 5 now.
Didn't drop too far, did they?
No, but it's because they're Alabama. And it's the first game they've lost against an unranked team in 100 games. That's why. But yeah, number 5, Alabama taking on Mississippi State. Alabama.
They should take care of Mississippi State realistically.
Yeah, the line is 17.
Another Heisman candidate, Bryce Young for Alabama, is another Heisman candidate. Mm-hmm. He's going to try to build on his numbers.
Yeah, I would take Alabama minus that 17.
They're angry after
I think they've got a statement, too. This is like a 47-20 game. 47-23, something like that. I think it's a 20-point game.
Sorry, Mike Leach. This just had to be like this.
I think it's just sorry about catching Alabama off of a loss. Because that's just bad. We got number 4, Oklahoma. Taking on TCU in Oklahoma.
If Caleb starts for Oklahoma, they win big.
Yeah, the line's 13.5. If Caleb starts, I like Oklahoma minus that 13.5.
If Rattler starts,
if Rattler comes in, I would probably take TCU plus the 13.5. So that just depends on. He ain't going to call a starter until Saturday, I think.
So he's going to take a while. Lincoln Riley's going to decide.
Which is smart. That way TCU doesn't know who to play, the good guy or the bad guy. So just have to wait, but you might have to watch that one to the last there, and then that leaves us down to the 7:30 game at night. Number 13, Ole Miss
plays at Tennessee.
Tennessee Vols.
Well, Tennessee's offense has been one of the highest scoring offenses in the country, averaging 40 points a game.
They are. They have a really good offense, and their defense is surprisingly not terrible. I thought their defense would be just complete and utter shambles because all their players left.
It's not perfect, but it's good and serviceable.
They are doing, honestly, a lot better than what I thought they were this year with Heupel's.
And they got a favorable schedule down the stretch outside of a couple of games.
Well, they're starting their death row. They got number 13, Ole Miss,
Alabama, Georgia.
Alabama, number 5. Georgia,
Kentucky.
number 1. Number 11, Kentucky. So they got 4 straight games against top 13 teams.
And but after that,
Ouch.
you got Vanderbilt and South Alabama.
But then you got South Alabama and Alabama. So they could, even if they lose these 4.
It's like the calm after the storm.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to go through a rough stretch here. The Ole Miss game is going to be a tough win.
Kentucky's a possible win. Alabama and Georgia might not.
I'm not for sure. What do you think? Do
Okay, Ole Miss has a very, very good offense, but their defense is suspect.
Yeah, it's going to be
A shootout.
It's going to be a 40-40 game, and then somebody's going to kick a field goal. 40-37.
Whoever has the ball last
45
wins.
to 43, 45 to 40.
Who has the ball last wins.
Yeah, whoever turns the ball over loses. This may be one of those where it's 28-28. It's 35-28. Oops, turn the ball over. It's 42-28.
And that's the key.
And that's gone, and it's gone just like that. So I think a late game turnover is going to decide this game, really.
Yes.
I think a third quarter turnover is going to put the other team down 2 scores, and then there's really not enough defense to stop the other team to get that score back. It just depends on who does the turnover, who wins.
This is a big game for both teams.
It's huge for both teams. I mean, it puts Ole Miss probably inside the top 10 because
if Tennessee wins, they
will be in the top 25 probably.
Probably not for long with Alabama and Georgia looming.
Right now, Tennessee's ranked 32. So they're just
teetering.
They're teetering outside the top 25. I want Tennessee to win.
But I think Ole Miss has a little more experience.
I think Ole Miss is going to win it. I think it's more like the
Ole
40.
Miss has a little more experience on the offense, and Tennessee's just got these guys together this year.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key, and that what the experience is what leads Ole Miss to a victory.
And that's why I'm leaning towards the 42-35 win for Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss covers. Ole Miss is favored by 2.5. It opened at 4. People have bet it down to 2.5. That means a lot of people are betting on Tennessee. But as a Tennessee fan, you got to be a little realistic.
You got to be realistic. You got to be no delusions. You got to be straight to the point. You got to see it for what it is.
Hope they win. I really, really hope they win.
If they do win, that's good.
That's really great.
For us, at least. We're native to the area.
Yeah, but it's going to be tough to beat Ole Miss coming in. So that's it. That is the college football for week 6.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave some comments down below. Let us know what you think about everything. Hit the like button, the subscribe button.
Groovy baby button.
Share us with your friends.
Spread the love.
Hit the groovy baby button over somewhere. Other than that, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.